Another Betway Weighted to Win comes to you on this Wednesday morning here in Johannesburg in the Kyle Army studio. It's cold, but it's not a bad day at all. Other than that, Cape Town, I believe, is much the same, where we focus on race 4 out at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth, which is simply a maiden-class field over 1,000 metres. Darren Burrows is back with us, and he's recovered from his flu. Daryl Marie's also in the studio, who's starting flu. So I'm a certainty to get you-know-what. It's bound to come. Favourite number 8, Green Knight at 11-4 to win the opener here on Betway's platform. 6, Boogie Field is 10-3, and the 4, Cabaret is at 4-1. Those are the top 3 in the market. Doesn't end there. Looks like Mo Capitano, Darren, I guess, has got to have a chance at 9-2. It's pick 6 time. Welcome back. I know I've been watching your selections, etc. You've been in great form, and keep it up.
Thank you, Clyde. Yes, been in cracking form of late. It is a competitive card, but we've got one or two strikes a bit later on in the card. Now, touching on race 4, you only need 4 runners to get through the pick 6, as numbers 3, 7, 10, and 11 are the only raced runners in the race. Now, let's touch on the Australian-bred Boogie Field. This is a Justify out of love to Boogie, who won the Diana Stakes. For those that don't know Justify, he won the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, the Belmont, and the Santa Anita Derby. So he was a Triple Crown winner in the USA. This is a lovely pedigree, and I have seen market support. Then number 4, out of Valderra, a lot of speed in this pedigree, could go well. And then number 8 as well, lovely pedigree. So I think the race will be fought out between numbers 4, 6, and 8.
Okay, 4, 6, and 8 are the 3 for Darren Burrows. Daryl?
Yeah,
you feeling all right? You feeling okay?
Yeah, we get in there, thank you.
Good.
You can see my bar pots and my PA. I included the scratching of number 1, Seeking the Life. Hopefully, the money was features and I can double up. That's the reason behind my thinking.
Yeah. But who's likely to start? Well, this will start.
I actually don't know.
Green Knight. Yeah, we don't know either.
Boogie Field, the comments in the front of the computer form isn't that positive. It says would prefer more ground. The comment for number 8, Green Knight, who happens to be a half brother to the very, very useful and well above average At My Command, is nice type, looking for further place chance. Yeah, and then the comment for number 4, Cabaret, strong filly will need the experience.
Okay.
So, I don't know what to make of the race, Clyde. Follow the market. I included the scratching just because of that reason.
All right, well, it's a pick 6, so let's have a look what Darren Burrows has worked out for us. We're going like this: 3, 7, 10, 11, by banker 5, by field, by banker 3, by banker 6, by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 3 bankers in that pick 6, but Darren does, he's been in good form. He says, you know what, maybe there's another way to look at this pick 6, so let's have a look at the other version. He says, look at this. We go 3, 7, 10, 11, by banker 5, by field, by 3 a banker, by 6 a banker, by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So his bankers seem to be pretty much the same in order of his pick 6 out there today. This is Snow Pilot's race, currently on offer at 7-10. One of the bankers on the card does look pretty hard to beat in this race number 5. I'll start with Daryl Marie first, and let's just talk about this maiden class field over 1,400 metres. Just to let you know, Daryl, if you don't, I'm sure you do already know that 2 and 8 are not running, as far as I'm aware. And that, in as far as Snow Pilot is concerned, well, I mean, she's been in fairly good form. Is she a 7-10 shot, though? That's the question.
He's a colt, Clyde.
I mean, is he a 7-10 shot, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's very generous, in my opinion.
Okay.
And, you opened up by saying this is Snow Pilot's race. It is his race.
Yeah.
And we can stop there. I think he'll take a power beating. Penultimate start, although it was up the straight, Richard chose to ride him with restraint, and he was just doing too much.
Yeah.
Last time out from a tricky draw, first time around the bend. Well, not actually first time, but first time over 1,400, Clyde. He was out of his ground. I am hoping they push forward with him. If he leads, I'll be happy. If he sits up second or third, I'll be over the moon. And I expect him to not come off the bit.
Come off the bit.
Exacta proposition, number 7, Lady Mallorca. Now, obviously, she's a filly, Clyde. You can see she gets 3 kgs
kilos, yeah.
from Snow Pilot. She's shown 2 fair efforts to date, but her dam won over 1800. I think she's going to appreciate the step up in trip.
Okay. All right, so let me. So it sounds to me like the opposition's not strong, barring Lady Mallorca. The rest are moderate, eh? Because in terms of Snow,
Not for me.
Not for you. All right. Okay. And I guess Darren, not for you either in terms of anything else, because I know this is your banker. There's no reservation, I guess, other than there be no winners from the form line, but that's nothing to worry about.
This could be the start of your doubles and trebles into later on in the card, Clyde. This horse will win. Last time out, I mean, he tucked in 10 lengths off the speed from a deep draw, and he lashed home late. He'll push forward from a decent draw, and he'll win.
Okay, well, there you heard it from the boys. They're not interested. Snow Pilot's their play, and Darren has worked out in terms of what he'd like to do, a straight-up, flat-out win with Snow Pilot, as has Daryl Marie done pretty much the same thing. He's also got a jackpot for us. Daryl, let's have a look. Daryl caught the bipots yesterday as well, so he has his jackpot, rather, banker Snow Pilot, the 5, by 1 and 6. So he's making that a 2-horse race just now in analytic, and that was... Epicularis, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 6 and 8 at the back, and that will cost you $44. Thank you, welcome back. I have got Daryl Marie and Darren Burrows with me, and we're now talking about race number 6 on the card, which is a maiden class field. It's run over the mile, and Analytic is one of the horses that Daryl gave a chance to, also gave this horse Epiclaris a chance as well. Those are the two, Daryl. I'll just come to you first. From a jackpot perspective, I see that the 5's been taken out this morning. It's not running anymore.
Yeah, Clara, I've gone a bit short over here because horses like number 2, Women's World, aren't too far off Analytic, and number 3, Sunshine Day, finished right alongside Analytic. But I've just been impressed with her latest 2 starts. She's really been finishing her races off well. I think with Keegan DeMello from 1 draw, gained the extra 200 meters. She's got so much in her favor, and I'm hoping she can confirm that form with Women's World and Sunshine Day. Of the balance, I mean, there's only one other form line that you could possibly give respect for, and that's number 6. How do you say that? Epiclaris.
I think it's Epiclaris, yeah.
You know, Justin's comments, previous comments with regards to this filly have always been upbeat. He's always said, once she goes ground, you'll see a top filly. She goes the ground. My concern with her is she showed a lot of pace in her second start. She wasn't finding anything in the latter stages. But I respect Justin's opinion, and he obviously rates her highly. So for me, 1 and 6, I'm hoping will suffice. I'm leaning towards Analytic because I think she's going to love the extra.
All right, Darren, what's your take on the race?
Clyde, there's not much between numbers 1, 2, and 3. Analytic, Women's World, and Sunshine Day. There's a length and a half separating them. Sunshine Day's only had 3 starts. Analytics only had 3 starts. They could improve at different rates. So I'm not too sure about this race. Epiclaris going to improve over further. One more to consider, Dawn of Gold. I thought there was a fair debut over 1,200 meters, and the Crawford stable's in hot form, so don't ignore the 10 either.
But that's only had the 1 run, but the form line we saw on board come out of there and win from, as Darren quite rightly alludes to, the Hollywood Bets Durban July winning trainer, Brett Crawford. So Darren's perspective, he's not sure. So whole field for him, by banker 3, by banker 6, by as many as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how he would like to play this jackpot here. It's a 170 Rand. Daryl, on the other hand, as you heard, is hoping that he can depend on both 1 and 6. Race number 7, World Sports Betting Bet with the best winter mile. It's over 1,600 meters. From a betting perspective, let's take a look at what is going on over here. I'll give you an idea, Daryl, and you can tell me what you think. Linebackers top of the boards at 4-1 at the moment. Number 3 on the card. The 4 is 6-1. That is Sugar Mountain. The 8 Fire Alley is 6-1, and the 7 King Regent is at 6-1. One of you bank at linebacker, either you or Darren. Darren. So, what's your take on linebacker? Firstly, then.
Yeah, Clyde, if you ever look at the ratings, he's absolutely, well, not slunging, but he's 5 pounds or 2.5 kilograms best in. I'll tell you why I've got a bit of concerns about him. Clyde, he was off for a long time, right? He needed his comeback run. They've had a lot of rain in the Cape. He's held on paper. I just don't know if he needs one more or if they've managed to get the work in that's required for him to be able to reverse the form that with those that finished ahead of him. If he's come on since a comeback run, I can see him winning and winning quite convincingly because there's absolutely no doubt he is the class horse in the race. I went wide in this race, so I don't really want to sit here and talk against Darren Burrows' banker, yeah, Clyde. I'll give him a winning chance. That's all I can say.
Okay. What's your first choice?
I liked Gainsford's return last time out. And he's always been very effective over the mile. Goes well over the course and distance. 51 to shoulder from a neat draw. I think each way claimed.
Each way. The kind of horse I think we can try and get Linebacker to come to the Summer Cup. Is that sort of horse, don't you think, eventually? I mean, he can compete there. Why not? He'd be well course, and I think he'll be course and distance suited. I think he'd have a claim, because what else would he have in mind other than when the season starts again early next year in the Cape? Mr. De Burrows, what do you make? I know you're bankering Linebacker, right?
Yes, Clyde, he was valued at around 7-8 to 1 earlier this week. I thought that was a very generous price. I watched him carefully last time out. He didn't have a clear passage from the 300 to the finish. He was on their heels. If the gaps opened, I promise you, he would have just about won. That was a very good comeback run over 1,400. From a mile to 2,000 meters, he is one of the better horses around. He did lose his way a bit, but I think this is going to be a confidence boost with him in this type of company. He's drawn well. The obvious concern is the short run-in on the winter course. He would have preferred the long run-in, but I think he'll just about win.
Okay, so that's your only reservation is the winter course itself. It does have a shorter run-in. Darren's going head first. He says, I'm into Linebacker. Hopefully he'll be well enough to win a race of this nature. This is the World Sports Betting Leaders in Fixed Odds Class 4. It's over a mile, and in this particular case, we'll have a look at the market quickly and ask Darren Burrows what he thinks we need to do here. Meta 6 is top of the boards at 7 to 2. 5 Cloud Chasers 15 to 4 or thereabouts. Number 112 Philosopher has a 6 to 1. 7 to 1 the 2 Island Treasure. 8 to 1 the 10 Mary Lamb. 8 to 1 the 4 Symphony of Light, Darren. And you can get probably 10 to 1 and better about the others. What's the plan?
Clyde, you don't have to look further than Meta in this lineup. Last run, I fancied her because she was racing off a winning mark, off a 70. And the 1800 caught her out. She was just a bit one pace the final 200. Back to her favorite distance, off her current rating, stable in hot form. I think she's worth a bet.
Worth a bet, okay. We're going with Meta. The stable's right. Everything seems to point towards Meta. Yorkside, Daryl?
Massive runner, Clyde. There is an equipment change.
Yeah, what's that?
Cheek pieces are off, blinkers are on.
First time?
Meta.
Yeah, but first time blinkers are on. I can't recall, sorry.
Yeah, first time blinkers, yeah.
Spot first time blinkers, eh? So no more cheek pieces, now the blinkers strike. Give us more reason to have a bet?
No, well, she's a massive runner.
I like blinker strikes, personally.
Is it?
I do, yes.
I'm not a fan
I told
of these.
Mike the Cock to put blinkers on safe passage. He didn't listen.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
what else?
We saw Lucy the Pink actually do well in her next start. I think
Yes.
she ran second, Clyde, and she beat the field by out of sight.
Yep.
Found a bit of value in number 8, Call It Fate. Fair comeback run. We saw Hikomi Boki dictate, control the pace. Too short in her second run after rest. Go back to the 7th of September, Clyde. She got
7th of September, 6, how many
Yeah.
months? Last year?
No, well, it's in the book, yeah. I'm just saying, At
Okay,
her
I
current
like her.
price, I
She's
think
a length, but she was a length beaten Meta that day.
yes.
And the
And
reverse.
she's a kilo and a half better off. Then go to Meta's form.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see she's actually ran third behind Call It Fates.
Okay.
So twice they've met.
They've bumped. Oh.
Twice they've finished alongside
All
each
right,
other.
so that might be a shrewdy.
The one's what price?
Well, the Meta, as we said, was 7-2, and the one that you like
He's 33 to 1.
is 33-1. Sure.
So I think there's value about number 8, Call It Fate.
That's the rank outsider. With Joshua Solomons, Daryl Marie's going to be shouting home. Up against Louis Makotwa for Darren Burrows. This is what we're doing in this race. We'll have a look quickly. We're going like this. Darren Burrows says, no thanks, Daryl. I'm into Meta already. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're on the last race now at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth. What's the plan? What are we doing in the ninth and final race? Yeah, I can tell you that this horse, Night Ruler, Darren Burrows, is top of the boards at 22-10 for Justin Snaith and Richard Faree. He's also got the horse that horse Royal Watch, as stable companion, second choice at 4-1, and they're obviously hoping to dominate because after that they've got the third favourite, this horse Butcher De Niro. So Justin Snaith, first, second, third favourites in the race.
The race does look between those three. Obviously, Coronation Times also got a chance. But this horse, Mucho De Niro, now his comeback run over 1,400 was a fair effort. He's going to love the step up in trip. I mean, they even attempted the Cape Derby with him behind See It Again, where he ran no kind of run. 3 runs back, very unlucky loser. So he's got to be a serious runner. There's nothing between Night Ruler and Royal Watch on form. I think they'll both be competitive.
Okay, they'll both be competitive. We'll put it in the play, no doubt about that. All right, Daryl, what do you like?
No, Clyde, if you look at Night Ruler, number two, I mean, he's fairly exposed. I know he's a 4-year-old, but I don't see him being like 10 or 20 pounds ahead of the handicapper. The same applies to number 5, Royal Watch. Whereas Mucho De Niro, I think this horse is well below what he could potentially end up. I find it very interesting, Clyde. This race was meant to be run, I think, a week ago. Richard Faree was meant to ride Mucho De Niro, and now he's opted to ride Royal Watch. I'd love to know why, because in my mind, Mucho De Niro is the right one. And like that.
Well, that's interesting.
Darren says the only other one you have to touch on is Coronation Time.
Okay.
But I really would like to know why Richard switched a week later if he was quoted to ride Mucho De Niro.
Interesting. We won't know the answer to that, unfortunately. Maybe if MJ Baileyfeld is listening to this, he'll find out for us, because I think he'll be on the course working there, and he can get the answer from Richard in the parade ring for us. Here's a look at what we're doing in the last and the final one out at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth today. Daryl Marie recommending that we take a trifecta and we box 1, 2, 5 and 7.